It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by Agile Dad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started. So, how do you build an awesome Agile team? I've recently had some inquiries from a couple of the different clients that we're coaching about how do we divide or split up teams, or how do we build the right teams, and how do we, as leaders, identify patterns for building the perfect team? Is there a formula? Is there a recipe? Is there something we should dig in and know? And that is a great question. So I thought I'd take an opportunity to discuss that today. A change in leadership behavior in the way that they're processing information is almost always the key to building an awesome agile team. I know you didn't expect that, but instead of focusing so much on the individuals, I think that if you're going to build a team, you need to change your mindset and make sure you understand how or what's expected. We've built many misconceptions over time about what it takes to make a stellar team. So, for example, I'm going to go through and give you um, a few items that I feel that are six supportive patterns. And I'm going to give you just a small bite size on each one of these. I think each one of these in their own could be a separate podcast episode. But I'm hoping that by going through each of these six and giving you the how I put this, like a 60-second pitch on each one. So if I gave you just a short pitch on each one, what it meant, and gave you a short pitch, I think that would probably be enough to at least get you started on your journey. Okay, so here they are. Six ways that you as an agile leader can identify patterns for building awesome agile teams. Coming in at number one, encourage different perspectives. Contrary to what most people believe, teams work best when disagreements occur among the members on the best way to solve a problem. This is a symbol of what I call a mature team in agility. This is where if they all are just homogenous and they all think exactly the same and they all process information the same way, you're never going to make the traction that you'll get with a team that disagrees and has to come to terms. In the presence of different opinions and a little bit of constructive friction, the best solution will always be the most innovative one, the one where people think it through, brainstorm, and in the words of my good friend Rob Van Winkle, they need to stop, collaborate, and listen. Or should I say, stop, collaborate, and listen, right? It's important for them to understand and engage. Okay. The second one, this one should be no surprise. Stabilize the teams. It's our instinct to take people and move them around and say, oh, this person's the most skilled, or oh, this new work's coming up. Let's reorganize and let's change up our teams and let's adjust who's where. And oh, this isn't working. So let's move people around. That is the worst thing that you can do. So, typical instinct is move people around to maximize or optimize what you're trying to do. When in reality, the more stable a team is and the longer they've been together, the better the team's performance is actually going to be. The team will continue to improve over time the longer they stay together. And believe me, trust me when I say this, if the team needs to excuse someone from the team, whether it's for just not being a good cultural fit or whatever the case may be, the team will let that individual know, hey, it's time for you to move on and find a different team. And I want to point out that this doesn't always reflect negatively on the individual or a sign of negativity towards the team. Sometimes people, and I've had this happen where I've moved them from team one, where they just weren't a real great fit, to team two, where they're exactly the person that that team was looking for. So I think it's just important for us to understand and say, okay, sometimes Susie might not be a good fit for team A or Johnny might not be a good fit for team B. But sometimes when we make those minor adjustments as a result of the team coming back to us and allow the teams to self organize, they become way more stable because the changes to the team structure and to adding and taking people away from the team happen a lot less frequently. Okay, here we go. Here's another one. Drum roll. This is the big one. Small is big. Incredible. I think too often we think we need to have more people on the team because we need to cross thread every avenue and every possibility of what could ever be done regarding the product or service and make sure we have someone to cover all the different types of work that would come in. The truth is, smaller teams get bigger work done. If you keep your team size in that sweet spot, that 7 plus or minus 2, 5 to 9, as I call it, I think that those teams are the ones that are best organized, and those are the ones who get the work done. Okay. Coming at number 4, encourage face to face interactions. I know it's so much easier to do Slack, and I know it's so much easier to type something over chat on Teams, and I know it's so much easier for you to do all these other advanced mechanisms that have come out to help you communicate without having to look someone in the eye. But the truth is, if you look someone in the eye, this is going to help you really understand and engage with who they are and what they're thinking. It'll help you see body language. It'll help you understand their train of thought. It will help you see that although your answer is probably a very good answer, that someone else may also have a very good answer. And it's not that either one's bad. It's sometimes good, better, and best. Alternate opinions are a good idea. They're good things. But I think too often we struggle because we don't embrace the diversity that's necessary in order for us to get the right ideas out there. And I think the number one thing that we can do is face to face. Now when I say face to face, that means if you're on a Zoom call or a Teams call, turn on your cameras. That makes it face to face. It doesn't have to be face to face in person in the same room, although what I found is the closer teams are together, the better they actually perform. Okay, next one. And I already started talking about this one. Enable self organization. The team needs to be able to pivot. They need to be able to add a team member when they need to, or excuse a team member when they need to. They need to understand how services organizations work within the company that they're in. They need to understand how to engage other individuals when they need them. They need to have some type of team working agreement in place that allows them to know what their powers of enablement are. But I'm also going to add one more word here. Instead of just enabling the team to self organize, you need to empower the team to self organize. And I think that empowerment is hard because many organizations look at it as I'm giving up my power to empower the team to be able to make critical decisions. And you can't look at it from that perspective. You need to look at it as by me giving up a little bit of what I know and what I do, I'm going to help the team to be successful. All right. And last but not least, number 6, this one's interesting. As a leader, you need to serve the team. So I know that's not your first instinct as a leader, that your first instinct as a leader is to say, yeah, servant leadership is important, but I need to make sure that things are getting done, or I have certain expectations that are, people have expectations of me, and I need to make sure I'm meeting or exceeding those expectations. But sometimes a manager just feels the best way to serve the team is to direct them and ensure they don't fail. And it's good, but it's also bad because sometimes failure is the best way for a team to learn. And if you're that helicopter manager that's constantly, cranking up the guardrails so that people can't fail, you're actually doing a team a disservice. It's important to allow people to grow and to learn and to figure things out. It's important to serve the team by being there to help provide them with solutions without always solving the problem for them. I think if you do these 6 approaches, so encourage different perspectives, make sure your teams are stable, remember small team size is big, encourage those face to face interactions, enable self organization of the team, and service the team, serve the team, and empower the team to do better. And if you lift those challenges to the team, what I can assure you is from a leadership perspective, you're setting yourself up for nothing but success. That's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, remember it's learnmore@agiledad.com. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.